You ready?
I am ready.
Yep, you're live.
Excellent. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thanks for joining us today. We are here at the Project Virtual Conference. Very exciting. I know there's been a wealth of folks that have been on the sessions. We've had many great sessions, great speakers, and a great kickoff. So thanks for all the volunteers that have joined. My name is Jacques Goupil. I'm with PPM Works, and today we're going to cover work management. So we're going to get into a bunch of different tools, and I know folks are joining in here because we've had a couple different sessions and folks are switching. And if you're able to join, and this is the recording, we are going to have a Q&A session at the end, but I'll provide some information. So if this is the recording that you're watching, you can go ahead and send me direct questions and we'll make sure we can get those answered. So again, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending where I have the pleasure to joining you from. We wanted to really thank the volunteers that are out there that put us together. I know Prasanna and team and all the other folks have been doing a really good job. We're excited to not only be a presenter here, and we've got a few sessions here, which I'm going to show you in a little bit, but also a gold sponsor, and we're really excited to be not only that. So make sure that you stick around to the complete end of this webcast. There's going to be some things that you folks can take away about work management, a work management toolkit. So if you'd like that, you can reach out to us, as well as an opportunity to win a $50 gift card. Whether you're watching this as a recorded session or live, you still can reach out and enter as well. So my name is Jacques Goupil with an organization called PPM Works. We've been around for quite some time, and we've gathered a lot of awards in that time frame, and we're pretty darn excited about all this. We do everything from project and portfolio management to training to really working with the organizations and asking those bigger pictures of the PMO perspective and working with your groups, not only from an enterprise level, but also to the tactical detail level of your project and team members. Besides that, do a lot of volunteering with the YMCA. I've done that for a long time. My family and I enjoy traveling all around the world, and as well as getting out there and getting active. We're just finished with some sports seasons here in New England, and we're looking forward to the end of school and the summers as they come through. We've been involved in the PMI as well for quite some time, almost a decade and a half here, not to date myself. So without getting too much, we want to get started. We've had great sessions today. I had an agile project. If you haven't seen that, make sure you check out the recording. We get into Scrum and Kanban and Waterfall, but more important, everything about hybrid project management and how you can do both within the same project itself. Today, 5 o'clock, quitting hour here on the East Coast, except for all of us that are on this session, wanted to jump into the work management and really get into there. Right after here, Jenny's going to take us into flow. So we talked about different automations and making life simpler and easier. This is all going to be in around automation within your projects. So using that technology called Flow, and Jenny's going to walk us through that. So that's a really good one to have. And then Scott's going to cap off the evening for us with KPI reporting. So really bring this detail, this visualization, if you will, not only for us, the project managers and the core team of the PMO, but all the way down to our team members, making sure that they can be able to see and use that data, and then always backed up to our stakeholders. So we're really excited to be here and reach out. Now, along with us, there are some other sponsors here, and just want to take time to thank everybody who sponsored the Project Virtual Conference. So a big thanks to all of our sponsors. So what are we going to do today? We are a project management organization, so we do have an agenda, and we'll get you out here probably a little before, maybe 5 minutes before the top of the hour, so you can get ready to log into your next session, that one that we just talked about with Jenny, to know all about Flow. But we're going to get into defining what is task and work management. We'll talk about the suite, the tool set of Microsoft PPM, that is. So understanding not only Microsoft Project, which we are all familiar with, but the online version. Planner, which most of us know by now, but again, if there's any integration that, and talk about the team productivity, not just Teams, the tool, but our overall project team. How do we get work? How do we get stuff done within the mindset of our organization? I'm going to talk about linking tasks and what's out of the box by project. There's a nice capability that you can actually link, and we'll show you that. But what we've heard our clients time and time and ask again is, well, we just don't want to link. We want things to flow and make those go back and forth. So we're going to talk and tackle that topic today. Questions and answers, go ahead and ask questions throughout the day. You can definitely go ahead and do that. And then you can actually get into your session today, and you can go into the question area. And so that's under the chat pane. And you can go ahead and just submit your questions there, and we'll be answering those. All right, so we already talked about our upcoming sessions, but we do have some events that are coming up. If you want it in person, we're always buying drinks for folks, and we'd love to do that if we can meet you up. We're going to be at the Gartner PPM Summit, as well as the happy hour at that Gartner Summit from 5:30 to 7:30 next week. So that's next Wednesday, a week from today. And then up here in Boston, we'll be at the DIA, and we'll also be hosting a happy hour with our buddy Scott Brown from Microsoft at 3 to 5 o'clock p.m. there. If you want any of our on-demand, just like the wealth of organizational information and all the project data that's out there, we also have on-demand webinars. You can go there and check that out. And then our events, both live and on the web. So today, you joined us. We're going to produce and give you some information and feedback back. We're going to have some quizzes. You're going to get some homework. It's going to be fun. So let's get into our objectives. We want to first understand that task management, the difference between tasks, the we work, the me work. What does it all mean? How do we get it done? Talk about the use cases. So a lot of these sessions, they're great, but they just dive into the data and dive into the tool set, which is really phenomenal. But we're going to pull it up a level. How do we talk to our clients? How do we recognize our organization, if you will, that, hey, they're really asking for a need. Now I can start to solution in my head. But we don't always have to jump to that solution right away. So we'll talk about the use cases, the 4 use cases, and then we'll marry those to the tool set. And then we'll actually determine, for me, I'm a big picture kind of guy. I want to understand when it is. So if someone came to me and said, hey, I want to understand when we should use Planner, when should we use Project Online, etc. I have one slide that you're going to want to see here, and we have it in our toolkit as well, that you can provide. Even if folks ask you the same question, you can say, this is what we've been told from our experts on when to use what. So in the chat pane right now, what we can do is we want to hear from you. We want to understand what it is that you folks are using in your organization to go ahead and manage an effort, meaning work and collaboration. And how do you understand and what do you see for answering these questions? Who's working on what and when? When are things due? What time are things completed, and can they be completed during that time frame? And then lastly, we want to understand who's working on the right things at the right time. Because just because we have a bunch of activities and a bunch of work that we think is supposed to happen in a priority matrix, we might be doing something that maybe doesn't need to be done right now. Maybe we should be focusing our time and effort on something that's pertinent and timely. All right, so I see a bunch of different responses over here. We're using Excel, email. Yeah, email's a big one, right? So within Office 365, you have your email, but a lot of communication is exactly done through email. Shared drives. Yep, we hear this a lot. Hey, we put something up on shared drive, and we send it. Box, yep, competitors, things that are out there. Absolutely. Well, with Office 365, and you can see over here on the right-hand side, this navigational toolbar, you can see that there's a wealth of apps that come with it. So what we're going to do is sew that thread today through some of these applications in and around management of our task and our time, our work. Well, the first thing that we're start to do that is to understand the different types of work. Now, we've categorized them into 4 buckets. I like this, and I sort of cheekily smile when I see this. It's the me work, all right? So we got me work, we work, departmental, and then organizational or enterprise. So I want to thank Microsoft actually provided this slide and a couple others. And I really like how we broke it up, and I've sort of changed the terminology here, but overall I got the theme and the thought from my buddies over here at Microsoft. And me work is just that. Let's focus internally. What do I need to get done? You know, it may or may not involve other folks, so I can do things that are independent of people, and they're really my task, my checklist. So let's carry that notion and that colorization of red when we take a look at the next upcoming slides. We work. All right. So now, if you've ever been involved in a group, a team, an effort, whether it's a soccer team or it's a group, you know, at your school, some group decisions that need to be made, working with our peers can be some of the most rewarding times that we have, and it also can potentially be some of the most frustrating time. Is not only understanding the team dynamic, but understanding that communication and trying to figure out and see clearly what work we can do. So that is the we work. Let's get everybody in here. The wheels are turning. We're doing the right pieces at the right time. Now, as we start to get into more of the departmental look and we start to pull in multiple resources, okay, that potentially are working on things at the same time, a larger group, okay, and we're all focused on a common solution. This is really where maybe a project, right, management has to start coming in. We have someone organizing us as a group. And then lastly is, you know, getting involved from a strategy perspective, but also at an enterprise perspective to understand what we're doing at a whole, but also how each one of our pieces is rolling up there. So that overall visibility. So today we're going to define this. You might hear me say, okay, that's the me work or the we or the department. Those are the terminologies that we're using. So I like to flip this and say, okay, so how does this formalize and how do we sort of roll this out? Well, as we're taking a look, task management, right, is really the process of managing tasks through its complete life cycle, right? It's performed by the individual that's assigned the task and really may or may not involve others that I just mentioned. Work management here is a set of, you know, software products or services. It allows us to work on potential workflow if we want, movement of information from back. Again, there's more than one person involved in this work. We might have ad hoc teams that roll up, a lot of agile, you know, fundamentals that might pop up. Again, I talked about agile in my earlier presentation that we did, but this is really that formalization, if you will, of group work, and then getting into our project managed effort. So this is really where we take that discipline when we have formalized teams and we're trying to go through the life cycle. And you've heard it time and time again through not only speakers today, but throughout your PM life, is initiating, planning, execution, control, all the way through closing. So working to achieve those specific goals, but to meet specific success criteria as well. And then lastly, that's the big kumbaya, all right, with whether it is Office 365 with Project Online, Microsoft's PPM solution is going to enable you to have that centralized management for all processes, methods, and technologies used by, you know, us, the project managers, by executives, and or the project management office. So that's really the view as we start talking about task and work management. Now, all this goes across any device, so you can see that right here. You probably have some Project Online overviews in different sessions, so we're not going to spend too much time on the Project Overline piece, except especially. Now, Project Online and Planner is the two that we're going to be talking about today, and we're going to get into, I'm going to demo some of these as well, so you can actually ask some questions and see how these interact. Now, work management here, when we get into it, Planner, but also SharePoint, so understanding that the groups and the collaboration that's out there is SharePoint, just like you've maybe have used in other organization. It's just online. Project management through PPM or Project Online, as we call it out there, is really that formal project management that we're going to be doing. And that's really where we tick and tie all of our tasks, all of our dependencies, our resources, etc. So if someone asked me at a bar, what's the difference between Planner and Project Online? Or actually, if we were walking down the hall and they said, hey, do you got one quick slide? I'd say, absolutely. Let's bring that up. So I'm going to let this simmer in here for a second. And this is that one slide that I like to call. Now you can take this slide and use it on your own. You take the use cases from your organization. But these, if you start hearing these in key, just do a little mental checkbox and say, okay, I know I hear what they're asking to, all right? So maybe if someone's resistant to learning a tool, you want to make it easy, okay? Very quick and drag. Well, think about that when we're looking at the planner, a lightweight project management system. If we need to track tasks in progress, folks are familiar with Microsoft Project. They might want risks, issues, deliverables. You're talking PM, right? Our PM hearts that are out there. Okay, that's when you really want to make sure that you're getting into something a little more formal, a little more structure. Now, as we mentioned earlier with that Agile piece, you actually can do both Agile and Waterfall with Microsoft Project now. So don't let this limit you to a quicker, easier, Agile, more structured project. Again, now we can blend both. And then if you want to be able to visualize, a display to say, hey, if I'm in project and I know there's a bulk of work somewhere else, it exists, I know, but I don't necessarily need to track that at the task level at my project, this is a perfect use case scenario. Manage your project in Microsoft Project, have a link from a project task to a planner plan. Perfect. We'll talk about that in a second. And then lastly, if someone's saying, or the organization saying, gosh, man, I really like both of these tools, wouldn't it be swell if we could track project and task in both? So if I'm a planner person and I want to enter in my completed tasks and shuffle things around and move them into different buckets or different summary tasks, right? I want to be able to do that, and I want that to flow back and forth. So we'll show you our tool that's able to go ahead and integrate those two. That's really an integration at this point, June 6, 2018. It is an integration point, and we here at PPM Works have developed that and can roll that out to you. All right. And so our use case scenarios that we have, we're going to go through Planner, Project Online, linking, and then our integration. Those are our 4 steps that we're going to do. And we have about 35 minutes, so we'll have plenty of time to go through these and answer all these questions. All right, so our first use case scenario, we got Miss Diane out here. And Diane Prescott, she's a product manager, marketing manager, and she really leads all planning efforts for something that's going to happen. They have a conference coming up, and their organization's going to, it's going to be a huge conference, and they're showing all the latest and greatest projects. And they have to, all these projects that they have, and they need to just get information out. And she's spending heaps of her time just trying to coordinate tasks. For those of you that answered, we manage through email, we manage through shared servers, shared document servers. This should ring a bell for you and really hold true. So if we're getting all these emails and trying to debrief and get all this progress, that could be overwhelming. She understands that her organization already has project management. They already have Project Online. But her organization, the folks that she's working with, say, you know what, I'm not a PMP. I can't get in there. I just don't get it. So in summary, she wants to see efforts that she's going to plan. She wants to be able to coordinate things better than just email. She wants to avoid or remove, because right now she's on daily calls. How many of us do that? Literally weekly or daily calls. Hey, how are we doing on this task? Is that delay? Did that affect anything? Good project manager stays on top of things. All right, and then she's just too involved, right? So she needs to be the expertise in marketing, not chasing cats and project management. So she's really looking for that tool. Perfect solution here is going to be Planner. So from Planner, you have a task board, okay? And you can actually see the GUI here. You can have pictures and beautiful assignments. You can drag and drop, and we'll get into here. You can build your team very easily, okay, by dropping that down. Just quickly add folks. And it's really the owner of that plan can very easily add or remove people that have access to that. You can upload and link documents. You can see a schedule view, which was new recently in the upcoming months. Very interactive, again, a highly visual way to not only organize teamwork, but also collaborate across different projects. Very effective. It's relatively newer in the project stack, or I should say Microsoft stack, and folks are tending to use this. Now you can focus, and pull your information here, again, on your documents. So you could see a bunch of documents there. It has the preview method and all these good things with Office 365 that's out there. You could actually do some checkboxes. So we'll get into some of this and see this. And then the Planner Hub. So let's go ahead and get in here, and I can show you just a little bit about Microsoft Planner and really understand where our organization can start from a lightweight project management system. Okay. So along with Planner, and let me just go ahead and pull this up so everybody can see it. All right. So first of all, it recognizes who we are. Here's our Office 365. It is, reminding us and almost drumming us towards, hey, you can do everything mobile. So make sure you download that. I can have favorites. So right here, I have a couple different projects that we're going to be using throughout this demonstration. Here happens to be one of them. I can start to see all this information at a high level. I can also see some of my recent plans down here and go ahead and click in if I needed to there. So in particular, if I go into this ESAT discovery and I go ahead and click, I can see that I have a bunch of information that's in here. I can go ahead and drag these from different tasks, etc. I see my beautiful pictures that come in, my screenshots, or even my documents there. And if I actually go in and open up one of these, okay, I can start to see that detail that we talked about. Very flexible, very easy for you to start using this. Now, a couple things that I do talk about is this right now, out of the box, okay, has 3 progress. So not started, in progress, and complete. We're not doing % complete. So think about it from a project management perspective, very lightweight. Someone can just go in there, hey, I started this, I'm done, okay, things like that. They're not requesting more time. They're not doing some other things. Now on the back end, when we show the integration, yes, we can definitely make sure that we go through. We have all these pretty little flags you can do. That's, again, grouping and sorting. We have our checkbox that we talked about. You can even show these checkboxes right on your tab or not with this opportunity. Now, something else new. Yes, you might look like this board. You can actually go into the charts that we showed before, which helps us more on a reporting side, what's open, what's completed, who's assigned. And then lastly is this schedule view. So you can go into your schedule view, and if I back up to when these were, I can actually see my schedule view and what's going on. Again, more of a look and feel that folks are interested, and I can very easily add different members just by typing this right in here, and then they'll be able to add and see this information too. Now also, if I just wanted to see my task, I can come into my task and go ahead and see across everything right there. All right, so this is Planner. This is that lightweight project management solution that is out there. And you can go ahead and create new plan just by coming up here, hitting my new plan. You can go ahead and here, and you can actually go, as you start creating this, you can attach it to an existing group that's out there. So maybe there's a group for your organization, that Office 365 group that's already there. We can go ahead and create that. Or you might already have a plan that's been created, and you might need to just request to join that. So again, the ability and options there on lightweight are pretty darn slick. All right, just going to pause there to see if we have any questions over in the. So one question, Planner, is there a cost to it? So Planner actually, no, it's out of the box. So if you have Office 365, it is free to your organization and to you. As I do pull up this panel, I'll just mention the ones in that case that do require an extra fee. So over here, you can see that Dynamics, yes, you'll need to pay. We have Project as well, and then Power BI, depending on how you want to use it, organizationally or by yourself. You can be free, but organizationally, there is a charge. All the other great tools that are out here come with the Office 365. Wonderful. Good questions. Keep them coming. All right. So that was scenario one, is lightweight project management, getting in there, understanding it, and really helping Diane manage rather than get a lot of emails in the system. Use case scenario two. All right, so now we have a project manager, and we already know that project professional is used or understood, let's say, at the organization, so we may want to leverage that. And Raul manages projects across the entire organization, and he really, really needs to be able to see complete visibility, not only on project, but also resources. All right, this is just sounding more project-like, right? So at this point, he needs the status, like to track dependencies. Okay, we got it. He's a project manager. He definitely understands project management and needs a tool. So he wants cross-project. He wants to automate schedules tasks. This is really pushing us, folks, towards Microsoft PPM, or the project solution in this case. So what can we do from a task management perspective, right? This is where we go in, we create a new project. You can actually have approvals of projects and workflow that goes through the system. So in this case, you can create your project right from the web. And as you understand, through Project Online, we can do all this. And it's really doing the project creation, the task updates, document, workflow approvals, however you want. And over there, you actually can report if you have a task that's assigned to you to that level itself, to the task or the project level, depending on how it's set up, but really pushing that information back. Very nice and very easy for a team member to see everything that's going on within their project. For risks and issue management, you couldn't have hit a better tool. This is perfect. We create projects. You can see different dashboards. You can actually create your issues or risks, or maybe even bug tracker. A lot of different registers that are out there. Some of our clients ask us to create financial registers, and we have a financial tool that's out there. We could create change management. So if you're looking for a change request process and how that's saved with approvals, all of this great stuff can be created right within Microsoft PPM. Dashboards, absolutely. We need reports. We need access to it. And then lastly would be the team collaboration and management. This comes right out of the box, drag and drop capability of uploading your documents, time saving. So now Raul is happy. Raul's got an area where he can not only create projects, he can create tasks, he can make assignments, and actually link across projects. But he also has the visibility across all projects and taking a look at the dashboard setting and also the workspace as well. Okay, so before we go into the ladder, I wanted to just bring up very quickly a little bit of information that we just covered. So we left off on Planner here, and we wanted to talk about Microsoft Project Online. So one of the biggest areas is reporting that we just talked about. So with reporting, what I recommend everybody does is they go off and get this Project Online Power BI content pack. Now we tweaked this a little bit, so it might not look and feel the same, but overall, you're going to get a lot of this information. So why do I bring this up? Because we're talking about task and work management. What better way is to manage tasks into status tasks, but also to see that information? So we can get into that and get into the areas. We talked about issues and risk management here. So if I actually go in here and take a look at my active issues here, I can see that we have 10 active issues. I can go down here and take a look at all these. And if I scroll down, I can literally see all my tasks in here. Actually, we're on the portfolio dashboard here. Looks like it clicked up to another dashboard, which is fine. And we can look in here and see everything. Here's a wastewater refinement plan. I can see that everything is red. So if I actually go in here and I drill into this project, this is where I can start managing that information. And here is where, from a task perspective and work perspective, if folks don't even want to use Microsoft Project, they can stay right here in this collaboration area. I can see a cool timeline. I can see all that information. And I actually can go over to this task area and see a list of all our tasks. And oh, by the way, I can just check these and complete them, right? Check, uncheck, right down the way. Very easy, very quick. Pretty cool. Okay. Along with this is obviously all the project-related information that we talked about. Dependencies, resourcing, break-fix analysis, ROI, all this good stuff that we're going to be doing. So this is really the project online area that we talk about when we come in and show this information. And it all comes back to taking a look at a dashboard within the tool. So here is one of those dashboards. You can see that I can go across all these folks, and here are all my projects that all of our tasks, all of our work is rolling up to. So this is, again, about project management, but also task and work management. Now, I did have a mention from a user that joined here just late, talking about, hey, will we get in the difference between work, task, and timesheet management? So let me go ahead and add that in right now. So for timesheet management, yes, within the tool, you can go ahead and here you go. It looks like this. We can get down to really the nitty-gritty here. We have a particular project. Remember this one, our e-commerce project, because we're going to actually sync that up to Planner, which is going to be the next thing, what I'm going to do actually in two more demos here. And we can actually see all this information and be able to update tasks and update project status right here within our tool set. Now, at the top of the hour, we also talked about mobility. So having this web-based solution that can go across all devices that we have. All right, so we're cruising right along. That's project management and project online. Use case number 3 is, how do we link these cool tools? We talked about Planner. We talked about Project. Is there a way that we can go ahead and link these? Now, I'm saying that word directly. With the Microsoft PPM solution today, what you can do is you can link your tasks. So link a task in project off to a plan. There's a lot of great use cases, but in this case, Mary wants to, she's a project manager, and she wants her team happy. So, you know what? I don't really care what tool you use. As long as you're helping me manage my project and give me status, go ahead. Use Planner, use Project, use whatever you want, okay? Just get the work done and report status. Well, that's a cool outlook to have, especially as a project manager. So if we're able to do that, we're able to link here, let's go ahead and take a look at that. Now, in this case, remember, our task status is not connected with Planner. However, they can do all their stuff in their plans, and then they can come back up and they can status that entire plan, if you will, as one line item in our project schedule. All right, so first, if you're back home and you're seeing something on my screen and you're saying, hey, I don't see that cool Planner, link to Planner icon. Well, that's because you need Project Professional Online. So Project Online Professional is the SKU that you need, and that will offer you the ability to go ahead and link into your planner. It'll be up in that ribbon on your task page. Again, this update is only available through the Office 365 subscription. Now, with the guide itself, it's really nice. And I actually, with a lot of the Microsoft tool sets, project included, is I really like to take note of the guide and walk through it. So I'll walk you through here, but also for those that are following along here, you can go ahead, click on that link, and then you can start typing in the answer what you're looking for. So what project are we really looking for? And you can go ahead and search and link to those particular plans that are in the planner too. Now you might see existing plans, and as of yet, you can't create a new plan right from here, but you could go to planner, create that plan, and then you'll be able to see it and link it. Now there's two gotchas there. You actually have to have a project plan in Microsoft project. You need to have that published. If that schedule is not published, okay, you won't be able to see that come up. All right, so let's go over and get into our tool set here again. And so if we're looking at Microsoft project, and I'm actually going to go ahead and open up just a sample project that we have here. And we have our architecture project. All right, so we got a product here, architecture series door. Okay, it's got a little code there. And we're actually doing some work on here, it looks like, and we're making this work. Now, in and along here, we have everything that we can do with task and work management. Okay, so we've already assigned some folks here, it looks like, and we have some names. If we wanted to go off and do a planner and sync our planner task here, I can go in here and grab my task. So right here, this development implementation, I can go off here and start typing the name of my plan here. And let me just see if I can grab one. So here's my marketing plan if I wanted to link that. I was going to look for my development plan, but it doesn't look like my development plan is coming up. There it is. That's what I was looking for. So I got my development. So I actually can go in here and sync that plan and go ahead and link my plan directly to my project. Now, what is that going to do for us? It's actually going to, let me just see here. There we are. So I can go through here and I can manage this plan. I can create that link. Now, in this case, when I go off and do that, it's going to give me a little icon here. It says, hey, you've now linked to Planner. From project itself, if I was to hit that link, it's going to bring me up and over into my planner. So really what that's doing here is it's creating a link from Microsoft Project in to Planner. So I have that link that's there. All right, so I don't know if it was just so let me just go and do e-commerce, and we'll do this, my e-commerce development. Whoops, I put on the wrong link here. So I'm going to go back here to my development. I'm going to go to my e-commerce. As you can see, it's very forgiving. So depending on where you're clicking and where you're doing, you can go ahead. It's going to go ahead and share that. So I go off and create that link for my development plan. When I go ahead and click on the icon, when it comes up, it will shoot me back over to my plan here. Now, this is what I was saying. When you come over into your planner, you can go ahead and create as many tasks as you want. So very quickly, you can say create status meetings, etc. And I can have all these things that are up here. I can review documentation, right? And I'm not going to sit here and type a lot of these. I might just open one. Documentation. There we are. So all of this creation, when we go through here, and we can make a couple assignments, we can go in, add these tasks that we need, all these different task names, okay? Everything that we just showed you is inherent here. What I do like to point out here is that it actually tracks what was created, and if you are following this, you actually get a notification that, hey, something's been created, so I need to do that. What I also like about Planner here is that you can have reminders, okay? So you can actually have reminders to go ahead if there's overdue tasks, right? And I actually love this one. Every day I get reminders if across all my plans, if I have some overdue tasks. Really good for task management and keeping people on track. But we said that even though I come in here and I take, my task and I'm progressing it. So putting on, it's started or it's completed, whatever it happens to do. When was it a due date here. I put a bunch of information in, and I finish this. Just because I've completed this right here, this is not going to send that information back to my project schedule. And that's where a lot of people say, oh man, it would have been good if you could push that information back and forth. Well, folks, we got you covered. Okay, so that's the last use case we're going to talk about today. So getting in from project to planner integration. And what does that mean? So in this use case, now we got two of our folks. Remember Diane earlier on, and Diane wanted a lightweight. She wanted to get away from emails, and she wanted to get just stuff planned, in a very easy drag and drop area. Raul, remember, he was the project manager. He needed a little more governance and a little more rigor. So they're both working for the same company. And now what we want to do is we want to be able to have the entire organization just do projects as they need to do, but also manage work and tasks at whatever level they want. So what we want to be able to do is associate each of these files with individual tasks. Meaning, wouldn't it be cool if our tasks within schedule, Microsoft Project, right, can link directly to a task that's over in Planner? And yes, they can. All right. So that's where we bring our integration tool. And this is going to integrate Planner and Project Online, or Project Online back to Planner. So there's actually a bi-directional mode that you can do that's going to send information back and forth through Project and Planner. You also could use and leverage your document libraries here, so the rich of SharePoint and everything to do with sites that are out there. You want to be able to see portfolio level and project level status reports. So if we can get the data from Planner and pull that into Project, and if we can get the project data updated, great. Now we got the information, we can start running reports, we can really get the best of, as you say, the best of both worlds here. So how does that look? Well, when we take a look, we can integrate everything. We've done integrations on SAP, Oracle. We've gone into ServiceNow. These are a lot of other tools that are out there that people are using. TFS, Visual Studio Team Server, whatever it happens to be, whatever you're using today. Even our Sightline migrations, right, that we've done. We can take your existing tools. We can leverage our tools that we have, whether it's ours or other third parties that are out there, and we'll integrate those and help you. But the key is to use those first and then really deploy, but also not only deploy, but roll out standard operating procedures. So you need to understand, okay, if we're going to integrate, even if we're going to do this integration with Planner and Project, who does what and who's responsible for not only setting it up, but what are the roles that we need to do? And where do people go to get help? Once we do that, we need to implement a smooth process change here. So really making sure that when we go forward, it's going to be a new system to somebody. So we need to roll that out really nice. And what happens if folks have requests or different improvements, enhancements that we need to go ahead and look at? Number 4, we want to get in and make sure that after we do all that, okay, so we've first started with existing tools. If we can't do there, we take existing tools and we throw on process. If those two don't meet it, then what we do is we implement a process change. If all of those don't work, then we go in and we start custom coding, and really creating something specifically for your organization. At the end of everything, what we want to do is we want to make sure that everything works within the Microsoft toolkit. So when Microsoft releases different updates, everything will be updated. So that's why when we build applications, we're literally building it on the Office 365 platform. So we're tick and tie in with that. So I mentioned this, bi-directional sync from Planner and Project, or Project Online to Planner. So you can take those tasks. You have an option to set the sync per task, or you can set it at any level. I'll go ahead and show you that. You can sync these tasks or these projects on a scheduled Or you can go ahead and just go say, hey, you know, I just did this and maybe I'm an admin, okay? Not all users have this ability, but I could go in as an admin and say, go ahead and schedule this. And then project and task specific planner buckets. So within Planner, as we already showed you, there are tops buckets up there. You can call it, you know, finish, complete. You can call it stage 1, 2, 3. You can call it anything you'd want. If you're using the agile from my conversation earlier, we had different sprints, okay? And those might be your different buckets over in Planner. And you can just pull and drag and drop things. So that's what we're going to show you. What are we going to happen with the sync? I'm going to run the sync. It's going to actually create a new project plan, a planner plan, excuse me. It would email a group that the plan was created. It would establish that link between those two, and then it's actually going to allow for progressing. So this is where we talk to you and say, okay, you saw in Planner there are 3 types of progress. There's 0, meaning not started. There was in progress. You saw that one. Well, you'd have to make a choice. Is that 50%? Is it 25? We just put a number on it. And then lastly is complete or done in Planner. That would equate to 100% work complete or finished in this case. So the flexibility is really where you folks want to do that. Okay, so let's go in and take a look at project and Planner integration. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and pull up a project, and I'm going to open up one of our plans that we have here, and I'm going to actually take my e-commerce rollout project. Let's pull that up first. Okay. Now, with this e-commerce rollout, there we are. What we're looking at here, and I sort of have that link up there to Planner still, so I'm going to go ahead and close that down, get a little more space for us, is we've created a different view here. It happens to be the name e-commerce. We see requirements, design. This looks pretty typical. Now, whether this, my friends, is Kanban, Agile, Waterfall, go ahead and take a look at my earlier presentation that I did on Agile, Scrum, Kanban, and Waterfall Hybrid is the name. And then we talk about, I actually went in here and changed the design to be Agile. But in this case, what are we going to do? We're going to take this and sync this up and actually have it create a e-commerce rollout sync plan. And then we're going to go ahead and sync these tasks. So we have a field in here, and I just showed you like this. We also have a form that's created here, so you can fill this out much easier. But let's just take a look together. I wanted to show everything on one screen here. So very quickly, what do you want with the PPMW sync? Do you want this task, okay? Do you want it to have a task, yes or no? So you can just go in here and say, yes, we want it, or no, we don't. What that's going to do is it's going to take this document design and create a task over in Planner. If you don't want that, meaning design complete or any of these others that are down here, we simply say, no, we don't want to create that. So I can just come down here and drag some of these. What bucket do we want to create? So the bucket, again, in Planner, if I go over to my Planner window here, here's my e-commerce. These to-do, done, new bucket. Okay, this new bucket name, if I was to go in here and say, hey, I want to create something called requirements, right? These are my different buckets that I'm creating. So what we're going to do is we have this requirements, design, everything we've put in here is going to go off and create a bucket for us. And I can see that I have a few here as well. Now, we also do some reporting. We'll show you that at the end. So we do have some milestone reports that we run, and we have associated here with our tool and with our milestone reporting tool. And that's going to grab all this, but not only that, it's going to grab our KPIs. So in here, we have our requirements complete, etc. So I just pulled 3 in here so you can take a look at what we're seeing here. Now, when I go off and sync this, so I'm going to go off here, and we have sync either on a scheduled basis, or we can do it right within our publish. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and go ahead and publish this right now. When I go off and do and publish that, what it's doing is it's going to go off and save this. I'm going to look down here to my synchronizing data. We have this running on the back end. It's going to go off and create a plan for us. And here we are, e-commerce rollout sync. Now let's see if we worked. All right, so we have our requirements, we have our design, development, testing, documentation. Requirements, design, testing, development. Perfect. So what we did is we took these tasks, we went ahead and we pushed them out, okay? And now our project manager, Diane, says, great, people can go into what they like to, and they can manage their tasks and their work through Planner. We have our Raouls out there that say, yep, got it, get it, but I don't want them using Planner. I want them over here in the project world managing their tasks. And then I want them actually, even beyond that, I want them over in their work center over here managing their projects from a project perspective. And that would be in with our task management. So we are seeing all of this roll up. So if you can see down here, actually have these tasks right here, e-commerce rollout and sync. So if I was to go in here, let's do first, we're going to go from Planner. So let's go over to my Planner task. Boom, boom, boom. I can create a task from here. I could status a task. I could do whatever I want. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go and just create a task here. So I'll just write right in here, my development, boom. Now, how you do this is really up to you. We've got it set for a couple different things, and we're going to develop. So we're going to create custom views. I'll just show you here. So I'm going to go off and create this. I'm going to set a date here, somewhere out here. I'm going to go ahead and assign this to myself, and we're going to go ahead and create this task. So there's my create my custom task. Now, when I go off and do that, I could have this run scheduled. Okay, so literally every week, or sorry, every hour, etc. What we want, or I can go and do this on demand. Now, as I go off and run this, I can go off and see that, and I can then take this, what was it, create custom views, go back over to my project, just give that a second here, and I want to go ahead and just save this, and I'm just going to close this down, open it back up, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at that task that's going to come over. So what we're doing here is we're pulling in our task, and here we can see we actually have some new tasks that come. When you create your new tasks, okay, we have this right now set up, and I like this, and I prefer and actually espouse this, that it comes in here. I know we just have a few more minutes, so I'm gonna finish this one example, see if there are any more questions out there, and then sign off here. So I like that this comes down here because I, as a project manager, want to take a look at here, see what someone's added in from Planner. Does it make sense, okay? And do I actually want to change the hours that are allocated on here? And then what I can actually do, you can run, we have a macro that you run that says organize into buckets, or what you can do is just take all this and move it directly up into your view. Whatever you want. Again, what we like about it is it comes in as a manual task, so I can go ahead and see that, and then I can go ahead and put it where it needs to be, so we can see all these question marks. So by syncing things from Planner to project, and again, from project to Planner, everyone can do something all in one area. Now, we do have some questions, and I'm going to answer one of your questions right now here, which is about PDUs. We are registered with PMI. We take that, and we're very proud of that. If you want an hour PDU or one PDU, go ahead and send it an email to info@PPM Works, and we'll go ahead and make sure we hook you up there with the code. Additionally, what we wanted to do is just thank you for allowing us to be a gold sponsor of the Project Virtual Conference. Along with the team, we're very excited, to be there, be speaking at 4 different sessions, but also be a sounding board for that organization as they're going forward and setting this up. If you need anything or information about us, here's just a little splash screen. We guarantee what we do. We are a life-work balance, so we live, breathe, and eat this. We really enjoy what we do, and we welcome the opportunity to work with you. So we have done our Agile projects this morning at 11 o'clock, so go check that out in the recording. This is going to be recorded as well, the work management, and then Jenny's just about to get on, so I'll leave you a couple minutes to go switch over and make sure you get into that let it flow, bring automation. And then lastly, jump on with Scott. Scott and Jenny do a great job, and they'll walk you through. Check out our webcast. If you are at Gartner, send me a note. I want to come and we can chat and hang out. How do you do that? You go ahead and send me a LinkedIn message or my email address, or you can always reach out to us at info@ppmworks.com. I talked about, offering that toolkit. So we do have a work management toolkit that you can grab, as well as we provide complementary planning services. So if you're looking to figure out the link between planner or project, or just want to get project online up and running, Microsoft actually funds us to come in and help you folks out. So take advantage of that if you can. Well, on behalf of everybody here at Project Virtual Conference, as well as our entire organization at PPM Works, we really thank you for the opportunity of presenting today. We'll be in touch. You'll definitely be hearing from us. But if you'd like to get in contact with us, go ahead and send us a message off at info@ppmworks or visit our website. Have a great afternoon, a wonderful evening, or a good morning, depending on what time it is. Bye now.
Yeah, thanks.